This audiovisual production is based on the book Rewilded, Saving the South China Tiger by Li Quan, published by Beijing Publishers, part of the Beijing Publishing Group. Chapter 2, Part 3, Diary by Li Quan. Living with Chinese Tigers. Story 1, Radio Collaring the Tigers and a Spectacular Hunt. This section of the diary is from the 20th of March 2005. Collaring of Cathay and Hope. On the 25th of February 2005 I arrived back at Laohu Valley with several friends who have all been doing volunteer work for us. When I left Tiger Woods and Madonna in November, they had already tasted wild game. I was so looking forward to seeing their progress and was delighted that Tiger Woods had finally succeeded in catching a guinea fowl. While the sun was setting, we parked our vehicle where Cathay and Hope's camp joined Tiger Woods and Madonna's. Cathay and Hope came over to voice their welcome to me. To the surprise of our reserve manager Peter, Tiger Woods and Madonna also came forward to me. They have not allowed any of our staff members to be so close to them up to now. Madonna, who apparently had not yet chuffed at any other human before, was chuffing at me non-stop. My heart melted. I couldn't but feel so privileged for receiving such treatment from Madonna. Cathay and Hope will be advancing to the 600-hectare camp soon to continue their rewilding training. The radio collar is an essential tool for us to collect information on them and will help us identify their location and movement. We fixed the collaring date on the 12th of March. In the past months Cathay and Hope made significant hunting progress through trial and error. Even during the last 2 weeks I saw them slowly adapting their hunting strategies. Abandoning the cheetah tactic of running as fast as possible, learning to stalk patiently, using bushes and trees as cover, and even applying distraction tactics. Blesbok, a kind of common African antelope, have also become clever. Instead of fleeing whenever they spotted the tigers, they now waited to see the taiga's intentions as they discovered they could outrun the tigers easily. I once watched Cathay came within 30 meters of some antelope and lay down in tall grass. She then rolled over belly up and yawned. The Blesbok were puzzled. After 5 minutes Cathay got up and walked slowly to a small bush just 20 meters away from these Blesbok. She waited a bit and then walked out of it from the other side of the bush. The Blesbok were taken by surprise but gained their wit quickly and fled in full force. To facilitate darting them, we coaxed Cathay and Hope into a small camp beforehand. Punctually at 6 a.m. in the morning of the 12th of March we arrived. Aside from Richard the state vet there were also Hector Magomi, chief ecologist of the South African National Parks, and Gus Van Dyke, rewilding strategist of the Chinese Tiger Rewilding Project. And it was Richard who prepared the darts with anesthetics and antidotes. Richard then darted the tigers. After they eventually fell asleep we walked into the camp and moved Cathay and Hope each on a stretcher, and then on to 2 trucks. Richard examined the tigers and found them both in excellent conditions. We drove them back into their hunting camp and unloaded them. Petrie, our executive director, fitted the collars on their necks. I waited anxiously for the tigers to regain consciousness. 2 hours later, Hope suddenly turned over. While he struggled to stand up, he wobbled and shook, but managed to walk away into the trees. He suddenly felt there was something new on his neck and his paw angrily swiped at the collar. But being too wobbly he could not really stand still. He retreated into the bush. We could hear the noise of his continuous fight with the collar. Cathay seemed not bothered by the radio collar at all when she woke up and came towards our truck. In the meantime we saw Hope emerging out of the trees heading towards the plain. We wanted them to stay under the trees avoiding the sun, so we turned the truck and led them back towards the tree area again. In their relaxed state, Cathay and Hope, still unstable in their steps, followed us as if the truck were their parent and ran happily after the vehicle. When they couldn't catch us, they stopped and played. They rubbed their heads against one another, chuffed and chuffed, as if they had not seen each other for ages. In the afternoon they came out from the trees playing. They were very interested in each other's collars, and Hope in particular tried to bite Cathay's collar off. However, whenever his teeth grabbed Cathay's collar, Cathay would angrily strike Hope with her paw. The next morning, however, their irritation disappeared and their gait also returned to normal. Spectacular first hunt after collaring. On the 15th of March our team put up the capture net. We took 3 blesbok to the eastern gate of the hunting camp. The first blesbok was released and the tigers ran at full speed towards the blesbok. Cathay first tackled it and Hope came to her assistance quickly. For some reason, the tigers seemed to have trouble delivering a fatal bite today. The blesbok tried to run away 5 or 6 times. Cathay even embraced the blesbok. I almost thought that they may be now regarding the blesbok as a pet, having shared the same camp with those released on the 26th of February that they had not yet managed to capture. After much struggle they dragged it under a small bush nearby. We could see the commotions inside. We waited till the struggle was over before driving closer to check. Both Cathay and Hope was panting heavily. Cathay chased the second blesbok down, which was not going to die without putting up a fight. At one point Cathay's front paws were holding onto the blesbok while her hind legs were jerked off the ground by the jumping blesbok. She managed to push the blesbok down. However, before she finished it off, her eyes suddenly caught the sight of the third blesbok running. Both tigers dashed after the third one cheetah style, but Hope was the first to give up the chase shortly after. The second blesbok was crouching in the grass. Hope slowly walked back to it panting. When he got close the blesbok struggled to stand up. Although its right hind leg was injured it was still able to stand, albeit not very steadily. Hope was taken aback when the blesbok confronted him in a challenging position. With the pair of blesbok horns right in his face he looked unsure of himself. For quite some time tiger and blesbok stared at one another eye to eye. It attacked Hope with its horns unsuccessfully and Hope even backed down a few steps to avoid being poked in the face. This is the first time that Hope faced the menacing horns right in his face. He kept looking away. Was he looking for Cathay's help or feeling lost? Too tired or simply pondering how to tackle his prey? He started circling around the blesbok, but the blesbok's horns turned with him no matter which direction he went, challenging Hope all the while. Hope was visibly annoyed and the blesbok's next move proved to be fatal. While it was again trying to poke Hope with its horns, Hope jumped up and with a swirl of his body, pushed down the blesbok with both his paws and gave its neck a fatal bite, cleverly avoiding the sharp horns. Hope was just waiting for the blesbok to make a mistake. Hope left his captive, wandered around the vehicle and then lay in the grass. He rolled over belly up, rocking left and right, as if to show off to his human friends.